Okay, for this one, for this one we're gonna do in English first and then Spanish second. Para este vamos a hacerlo en inglés primero y luego español segundo. This one's for day 3, page 234. On 234, they give you an example of a problem up here, where you're subtracting this area, this area, this area, this area from the whole thing. But we're not gonna go over that right now. We'll go over that later how to do that. Right now, we're just gonna go to number 15. But if you want to review it, you can to see how they solved it. They have an explanation right here, and they tell you what the area of the inside of this figure is. But for our problem, it says Mr. Miller's garden is in the shape of a trapezoid shown below. What is the area of his garden? And we're going to do this one two different ways. So one way we're going to do this one is we're going to split it up into two triangles. We're going to split it up into two triangles. And afterwards, we'll split it into what's it called? We'll split it into a rectangle and a triangle. So we'll do it two different ways. Okay. So we're gonna split it like this and like this. So we're gonna do a triangle first. So we're gonna have two triangles. So for this triangle right here, our base will be 6 and our height will be 2.5. And for this one over here, our base or one of our sides will be 4, and our height it needs to reach one side to the other side of the triangle. So we can't draw it right here. So our height would actually be this going up like this all the way on top, and then would meet right here. But this height right here is the same as this height right here, which would be 2.5. So the height of this triangle would be 2.5 and the base would be 4. So we're gonna do two different triangles. So let's do color coded a little bit. So this triangle, we'll do it with green. So it's 1/2 times 6, and I put 6 first because I can take half of 6 much easier than times 2.5. So half of 6 is 3, and then we multiply that times 2.5. And for this one, I'll show my work right here. 2.5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. 1 decimal spot, 1 decimal spot. So it would be 7.5. It would be 7.5. That's my area for the first triangle. Now I need to find the area for my second triangle. So my second triangle, the area we're looking for is this triangle right here. Oh. This one right here. Like all this area right here inside, all of this. So for this one, it's going to be 1/2 times 4. Again, getting half of 4 is much easier. Times 2.5. Half of 4 is 2 times 2.5. Again, I'll show my work. 2.5 times 2, 10, carry the 1, 4, 5, 5.0. So it would be 5.0 or just 5 for this area. 5 meters squared. When I add both of these together, I get 12 meters squared. Now, that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is, actually, let me save this real quick. Let's go back. So the other way we can do this is by splitting it up into a, oh, can't hold it. Is by splitting it into a rectangle and then a triangle. All right, that's as much as I can erase. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Oh, wait, 1 second. Okay, and we actually have to delete this and probably the thickness of this. Let's see. Here we go. Now for this one, we're gonna have to split it up into a rectangle and then a triangle. So for this one, we're gonna split it into a rectangle going from the top to the bottom. So this base will be 4 and the height will be 2.5. For this triangle, one of the sides will be 2.5 as well, And then this part right here, all we need to do is subtract 6, which is this whole thing, minus 4. 6 minus 4 is 2, so this side would be 2. So for the triangle, we'll do the area on this side, and for the rectangle, we'll do the area on this side. Rectangle is just my base, 4 times 2.5, or 4, like I always do this like $2.50, 4 times, $2.50, $5, $7.50, $10. So this answer right here would be 10 meters squared. For the triangle, we do 1/2 times one of the sides. So 2 is much easier to take half of, so we'll do that one, times 2.5. 2.5. Half of 2 is just 1. 1 times 2.5 is 2.5. Ooh. So when we add these two together, we get 12.5 meters squared. Is that what I got for the other one? Let me check real quick. Hmm. 12, and then this one is 12.5. Oh, I added it incorrectly. 5 plus 7 is 12, but I forgot the 0.5 part. So it should have been 12.5. Sorry about that. But we do get both areas. We do it both ways. Just make sure you add correctly. Obviously, I added incorrectly. 5 and 7.5. Sorry about that. Now, I'm going to actually do it in Spanish now. So ahorita voy a hacer este problema en español, ya que lo terminé en inglés. Para este problema hay dos formas para hacerlo. Y voy a repasar las dos formas de hacerlo. La primera forma es poner esta figura y hacerlo en dos triángulos. Y la otra forma es de separarlo en un rectángulo y luego un triángulo. Pero les voy a enseñar las dos formas de hacerlo. Así que la primera forma que podemos hacer esto es separar esta figura en dos triángulos. Y lo hacemos para hacer una línea de este lado al otro lado. Así. La área para un triángulo es una mitad por la base y por la altura. Así que este triángulo será 1,5 puedes escoger cualquier lado que quieras. Voy a escoger 6 porque es más fácil encontrar la mitad de 6. Luego por el otro lado, 2.5. Para el otro triángulo lo hacemos igual, la mitad por uno de los lados. Este de aquí, no es altura, porque la altura tiene que ser una línea directa así, no puede estar como, no sé cómo decirlo. Así que la línea que tiene que ir de una punta hasta al otro lado del triángulo. Así que la altura sería esto aquí. Y esta línea aquí es la misma altura que acá, entonces sería 2.5. Así que la base de ese triángulo sería 4 y la altura sería 2.5 de esta parte de arriba del triángulo hasta aquí abajo donde acaba el triángulo aquí en la punta. Por eso lo hacemos de este lado. Pero puedes escoger cualquier número para multiplicar, así que puede ser el 4 o el 2.5. Voy a escoger 4 porque es más fácil agarrar la mitad de 4. La mitad de 4 acá serían 2, lo multiplico por 2.5 y me da 5. Esa es la área de ese triángulo aquí. Para este triángulo, el verde, la mitad de 6 es 3 y luego lo multiplicamos por 2.5. Cuando lo multiplico, agarro 7.5. Cuando agrego esos dos números, 7.5 al área del triángulo verde, con el triángulo al otro que mide 5, lo agrego 7.5 más 5 y me da 12.5. Así que el área total de esta figura sería 12.5 metros cuadrados.